Hey everybody, Dave Clark, aka the Pattern Guy. Welcome to the Pattern Shop. Alright, we're here today. I'm going to show you a couple little things. Like I said, I'm trying to clean up some of the projects that I've got going. I mean, they're just getting scattered all over the place, and I really just gotta just get down to, you know, business stuff and getting all this loose stuff wrapped up here. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, one of the projects I want to get done is I got to start consolidating all my scrap downstairs in the basement. Hopefully with this, if I get the business from this new customer, I've got a lot of aluminum down there. Hopefully we'll get rid of a lot of that. Plus I got to get going on the train signals also. That'll you know, get rid of a lot of the aluminum down there also. Okay, so one of the things I want to do, what we'll do is we're allowed to burn in the city I live in. So a lot of times what we can do is, you know, it gets pretty hot. The you know, fires get pretty hot and that. So my thinking is, like I said, I don't like to just make ingots. You know, to me it's kind of a waste of time and that. But you know, if I'm like sitting around the fire doing whatever, you know, I'll get some zinc out in that, and it's never had any really good ingot molds. The good ingot molds I do have, I pretty much keep down at the foundry, so I have brought those home, but then, you know, I gotta make sure, you know, I'm gonna take it back forth. So I'm making this one, and like I said, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put the periodic letters in these so that we know what alloy they are. Okay, so I've been getting a lot of zinc lately, and one of the things, like I said, zinc is like 3 times more than what you get for aluminum in most cases. But one of the other reasons I want to kind of keep my zinc and make it into ingots, and then, like, you know, there's 2 different sizes here, so you know, we'll have a couple different weights. Is I also have a lot of copper. Yeah, I probably have a lot of copper. So to make brass, it's zinc and copper. It's around 30 to 40% zinc and 60% copper. Yeah, there's also a couple other alloys mixed in also, but for the most part. So what my thinking is too, I could make a bunch of brass if I want to. So what I can do, that's the purpose of me going ahead and making these ingots. And like I said, more than likely, probably will not kind of take a day out and just, you know, start melting zinc and make ingots. I'll probably do it when we're having a bonfire, the family's around or whatever, you know, we'll putz around. Okay, so anyhow, what I gotta do is I made these tags. I got the reverse letters. Okay, so I made these tags, and this one is 3/4 and this one's a half. So I'm gonna put the 3/4 in here and a half in here. All right, so this is 5/8, this is 7/8 here. So what I'm going to do is, I kind of in between things on the mill, I got my vise in there. So what I'm going to do is, normally what I probably would do is just strap this down the table, clamp it, and get in here. But it's, like I said, I got the vise in there right now. I am doing a project. I don't want to take the vise off. You have to go back and forth. So what I'm going to do, one of the things you can do, I took my square, okay, well, one of the things with the square, like I said, you don't have to use square. What I'm going to do is I set it to a certain depth here. I put a mark up here, okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this scrap piece of mahogany to it, okay. I'll screw this down like this, and then what I'll be able to do is hold this in the vise. Alright, and then the bottom of the mold will actually be on the top of the vise, which is good. And then what I'll do is I'll mill my slots in here, what I can put these tags in, okay? So that's another way. Like I said, we'll get into machining. I want to try to do the woodworking stuff first, and then, you know, down the road we'll get into some machining. But, you know, one of the, probably the most popular way, you know, put it down on the table, clamp it, and go at it. But like I said, right now I already have a vise in there. It's all indicated. I don't want to break that down. So I got my line on here. Okay, I'm just going to put my, I kind of measured out where things were in that. So, and the thing with this too is, like I said, you always want to do things as best as you can, right? I mean, as professional, you know, we want to do this as best we can. This, like I said, just putting a pencil line on here. What that's going to end up, even if this tag is just a little bit off, you know, it's only the 2 letters there, you know. I mean, if it was a whole big long line, it might show up a little bit more, but I think just putting the pencil line, we're going to be okay here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and set this up in the mill. It's actually late in the day, it's supper time. I'm going to go grab some dinner. I'm actually going to do some stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is got another project that I got to get done also. It's a mounting and gating job, so I'll show you guys how to go about doing the mounting and gating. Okay, so like I said, I'll set this up in the mill and then mill this, but I'm going to go in and grab something to eat and probably call it a day because it's pretty late out today. So I just wanted to show you that. In the morning, maybe I'll put the camera back on, we can mill that out real quick, and then I'll show you that mounting and gating job. Alright, see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, next day here. I got this set up yesterday. I showed you how I put a line, put a scrap piece of wood on so I could hold it in the mill. I just went ahead and did that, and here's basically what I did. I slotted these out. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm fitting these little tags. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Okay, hang tight. Okay guys, I'm over by the sander here. One of the things that I want to show you in doing these small tags, I noticed one of the, you know, being a machine junkie also, a lot of old timers, they said a good machine is to be able to give it the nickel test. The nickel test is you should be able to set a nickel straight up and down on there on the edge and it's not going to fall over. Okay, that means less vibration. So the old sander I had is the old Inco, I believe, and that one I would have had a real hard time sanding these smaller pieces, you know. So that's kind of what, you know, what got me into this. So here, let's see if we can do it here. All right, so turn this on. Let's see if we can get. I know this thing's kind of windy, so I'm kind of thinking just the wind alone is going to blow this over here. Can't even get it to sit. Not roll. It's not that level here. See if we can cheat a little bit here. Yeah, I can feel the wind just blowing this over. So, okay, there you go. So that's setting up on the edge. Like I said, I could just feel it's the wind mostly. But for the most part, I'm telling you, this thing is very stable. It's very, very, you know, real comfortable. The other one, it actually ran, I think, 1800 RPM, so you had to watch your fingers on it usually. So anyhow, I'll show you how I'm going to sand these things up. Hang tight. Okay, got them marked out. But I mean, you can see how just real nice and smooth this runs. Like I said, the old, I mean, I'm actually getting more, you know, from, there's a lot of wind that blows on this. see how this fits in here now. Oh, got the Z going the other way. Okay, look at that. Pops right in there. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta take some off the depth, drop it in there, but I'm gonna do the same with these little ones. If you can see, I actually added a little Bondo. I want those to stay on there a little bit. This end was a little short, so I'm gonna try to putz with it a little bit to make it a little bit longer. So I'll show you that in a bit. Okay, hang tight, guys. Okay, guys, got the letters in here. All right, all I did was, yeah, it took me a little bit. I had to do a little hand sanding of the tags, as you say. Then I put Bondo in the bottom and just mushed them in, and then that lets some of the Bondo come out, and then you know, you can just cut that off after. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this next, I'm going to give it a couple coats of paint, and then we're going to get it up to the iron foundry. I don't know when he's going to be able to do this. I asked him if he'd mind if I filmed, and he didn't say yes, he didn't say no, but yeah, I'm kind of thinking he's going to be on the no side there. So what I'm going to do next is, like I said, it's getting late in the day again today too. I had some other things I was doing, you know, along the way today. So what we'll do next is we'll start getting started. I'll show you how I'm going to get started mounting and gating a job here. Okay, and it's a job for me. It's the going to be the pedestal or the base for the signal lights for the train club up the street here. So I got to get going on those. I mean, there's 44 of them. Larry, the guy at the iron foundry, he's actually going to help me. He has the what I call like the junction box. I'll show them all to you when I do them. I don't know if I got the masters here or not. I'll try to dig the masters up. I'll show them on another video. But that one, it's what it is it's got a long small draw, and then it's got like 6 other smaller cavities where the sockets of the light set in it, you know. So it's a little bit of a difficult pattern to mold. So I'm gonna have him do it because, you know, he's got the machines. You know, the mine's not getting going yet. So I haven't heard from Blaine all week this week. You know, it's a holiday this weekend, so I don't know how far he got doing working on the molding machine. So, you know, we got to get the plumbing done, got to get the electrical done also. So hopefully we get all that stuff done shortly. So I'm gonna turn you off again, and then I'll get all set up and show you what we're gonna do for mounting and gating. All right, hang tight, guys. Okay, guys. Next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna start this. It's almost supper time. Okay. So I made this split pattern quite a while ago. Like I said, got a lot of projects going. I'm going to start wrapping them up, okay? Show you how to do it. Don't, like I said it 3 times, don't get a bad habit. All right, so the thing with this particular project, it's kind of for me. I want to sell these down the road. They're going to be train signals for the rideable steam train clubs, okay? The problem is me taking time out to go ahead and make something like this. I'm not making money right now, you know, so these kind of things I'll start and put them on the back burner. However, what I did was this is a lengthy project too, okay? So I've got this is the base to the lights, okay? And I made this little access door here also, and with this one we'll do a segment on. This one I want to put like 4 or 6 on a match plate. So this one, if you can see, it's rounded. So we got offset parting again. So I'll show you how to do an offset parting like this, okay? So we'll do that, okay? But what I want to get these going also, so I can start getting these cast up here. Okay, so if you can see, these are going to be cored out. The red is the pattern, okay, black's core print. One thing about this one is you can see I've got kind of a semi-core print here, okay, and it's not, that actually, it's not a core print where the core is going to be held up by this part right here. This is a window. That's obviously going to be a window in there. That's going to be my access door. That's where we got that access cover, right? So basically what I did was I made this so it'll hit against the top of the mold, okay? And this will be what's called a kiss. It's going to kiss, the core is going to kiss through, okay? So then that'll give me, you know, no aluminum will fill in there. We'll do a chalk talk on it a little bit. It'll be better if I show you how to do it up there. But anyhow, this is called a kiss. All right, it kissed through. All right, so that'll make it so that, you know, that's going to be a blank space. And then what it does, it's just it's instead of having like a core print coming up here, you know, having 3 different core prints. You know, I could have done that. But it's then the more core prints you're putting on for one core, you know, the way more accurate you got to be. The cores got to be made perfect. There's issues with the way they make cores too. We'll get into that one of these days. Okay. Plus the other thing too is I want to have this little rim around here also. Okay. So in order to put that rim around there, yeah, that would have been ridiculously hard to do that. Okay. So basically what I did when I started this, I pinned these, okay, put a 1/2 inch pin. Usually, you know, we do that. You want to get these as far out as you can. I probably should have gone out into the core print over here. All right, so what I'll do, here, let me pick you up. What I do is I start by, you know, determining what size of a flask I'm going to use for this, okay? And actually I don't have a size flask for these two because these are going to be a little deeper, so we're going to actually make some flasks. I'm going to go ahead and make 2 because we got to make, I want to make 50 of these bases, okay? We need 44 for up at the club, but a few of the members have actually asked if I could make some for them, okay? So I got my outside, right? I put this on a board at one time, measured it and determined I believe it's a 14-16 flask, okay? So I put my flask size on, I put my centers on here, okay? So I roughly, this is getting close here. You always want 1 inch. That's getting close, but it is smaller, okay? And it's the same down here. You know, since I don't have this flask, I probably should made it, you know, a little bit wider, but I'm trying to keep to some standard size. I'm sure we'll be okay with these here. So it's aluminum, so it's not going to be that hot. All right, so what I did was I've got a basic orientation of where I want to put this on this board, okay? Got plenty of room here, but like I said before too, this is going to be all sand anyhow because this is going to be a core, and you know, same thing. I got plenty this way. I could actually probably, you know, put it in a smaller flask that way, but I want to make sure I have plenty of room for gating, and we're going to bring some gates in here this way somehow. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do that just yet. So next thing what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to get a square line here because this piece is actually kind of just like flapping around. So when I mount, I want to have a line here and a line, you know, cope half and on a drag half, okay, because I want to be able to make sure that, you know, when I mount this half on the other side, that this is going to stay straight. And what I'm going to probably do is drill through the plate and then put a screw up into here, and then on the other side I'm going to have to like drill through here and put a long screw through, okay? And then the next, what I'll do to do the patterns, I'm going to drill a through hole through this core print, through the board, and then I'm going to screw this pattern to the pattern on the other side. I'll put one up in here. Also, a lot of times if you just add this core print on as an extra later, a lot of times you just glue your core prints on, right, I'd probably put a screw here. But if you can see, when I turn this as all one piece. So I think if I put a screw through here and a screw through here, then we'll get a screw over here. I think, you know, that's going to be a good thing. Okay, so let me get some lines on here, and then I'll get some through holes going on there. And you know, a lot of times what you could do too, you could put, you know, that's probably what I'll do, put a couple spot glues on there. Then I'll just let that sit for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and drill my hole through here. That way I know where it's at. Okay. And then once this is dried up a little bit, I'll go ahead and drill a through hole here and there, and my pinholes also that'll locate on the back. All right, so hang tight and I'll do that stuff and I'll show you where I'm at. All right. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to just drill this by hand. I'm going to drill a through hole so that I can, you know, put a screw into this little base here. Okay, I mean, this one's no big deal. You can do it on the drill press, but it's no big deal. I got a bunch of stuff on there. That's the story of my life too. It's I want to get this business going where all I can do is just go to a machine, switch it on, and go. You know, but I'm not there yet. So anyhow, I'm gonna spot glue this. And then I'm going to let it sit for about a half hour. I'll turn you guys back on when I'm drilling the holes. I'll show you where I'm going from there, alright? Be back. Okay guys, I'm here at the drill press. So I'm going to show you how I pin these things on, okay? So I glued this on here, just spot glued it. Just put a couple little spots of glue on there. Then that screw hole that I did, I put a screw into this leg out here. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill one hole, okay, and this is where, you know, I told you get a bandsaw first, you know, a sander, and then, you know, you're going to have to get a drill press down the road too, because you're going to want to do nice, you know, straight holes. There are ways around this. I probably could, this pattern's deep enough where I probably could, if you're careful, chase the hole through, and you should be good. Then, you know, a way to kind of check it is when you put the other half on the other side. If they don't line up, you know you drilled your holes wrong. Okay, so that's one, you know, way you can check it out. And then another way you can measure from the sides. Okay, but let me show you how I do this real quick. So. What I do is, you know, this is a 1/2 inch hole, so I always have scrap pieces of plywood. I drill into the plywood instead of drilling into the table. You know, I mean, there's the T-slots, you can line them up at 1/2 inch holes, kind of getting a little dicey, okay? So what I did was I drilled one hole, okay, and I put a pin in it. Now I'm going to drill the second hole. The reason I do that is if I just drill one hole and then move over, drill the other hole, what could happen? Something could move, you know, and then your holes are going to be off, and that's a bugger later too. To, you know, you got that hole done already, and you try to, you know, have to drill another hole. It doesn't work, you know. So always drill one hole, put your pin in, that way that one's not going to move anywhere. It's going to stay where it's at, okay? So if I didn't have that screw in this leg here, you know, this could move, alright? So if this moves while I'm drilling this, it's not going to be that big of a deal because I'm here already, alright? Okay? Alright, so there's that second hole. And, put a pin in there, get it going. Okay, now while I'm here on the drill press, I'm going to go ahead and drill my through holes for my screw holes. Okay, so one of these days I usually have most drill press, I got a chain with the thing on there. I usually keep the chuck right here all the time, you and I've been doing that for the last 14 years, right? So here, another thing, safety thing, okay? A lot of people say when you're putting any of the keys, like when you turn in or the lathe chuck or these, always keep a hold of it, all right, when you're turning it on, because a lot of times you'll put this in, you'll forget to turn the machine on, and that key goes flying, and you can get hurt, believe me. All right, I actually literally saw a kid get knocked out with a hand drill one time. It's, I kid you not, man, it was unbelievable. A little bit different, but. So I'm going to put a what's called a through hole first, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and go into the core print way back here. Okay, now a lot of times too, when you do this kind of thing, you want to do it where it's, you drop the column down a little bit here. A lot of times when you're doing this stuff, especially like on round stuff and that, you don't want to put it like on the center, okay, because it can mess you up down the road, you know, when you're doing something else, you know. So kind of put them off center a little bit, okay. Alright, now this is what's called a through hole. Okay, now I'm going to countersink these. I'm just going to use wood screws for in here because I'm going to be putting screws straight through into the other half of the pattern. Okay, so I'll get a screw out of the screw bin in a second and I'll show you. Two ways I can do this too. And I think I went in a bit far anyhow. My countersink is ½ inch. Alright, so I'm drilling that down a little bit lower. This is the way my dad would do this too. Okay, I drilled those a little bit deeper so the ½ inch goes down, and we'll put a bung plug in these. Okay, that's what my dad would have done. A lot of times anymore what I do, and especially this is for me, like I said, I always want to do things nice, but it's just faster and easier just to go down a little bit and put some Bondo in there, okay? You get a screw real quick and I'll show you something. Yeah, I don't know if this is the right screw, but anyhow, this is a wood screw, okay? And like I said, when you do patterns in that, it's kind of hard for when you first start out. These are nicer screws. Don't use drywall screws, and especially if you do work for a customer, do not use drywall screws. They break, and they're so brittle they break. And that I use them in here for like quick things. There are times where I do use them for permanent, but it might be like a core stick or like a mold that I make, so I can make several patterns or something. I'll use it, but like for patterns for customers, I never use them. Okay, what I always use, there's all different ones coming out. When I was a kid, when I first started out in the trade in the early 80s, we had a slotted screw, just one slot. You use a straight blade screwdriver. Okay, nowadays there's so many different kinds, but what we got into was the Phillips head. Okay, and the Phillips is basically, you know, you got 4, you know, points of contact on there instead of 2 on the slot. All right, and then you can use your screw gun a lot easier with these. So now they got the square head and the star nut and all that stuff. I forget what those things are called. I'll think of it in a bit. But I always just use the Phillips head. That's what I order. Okay, it's just I've been using these things. That's just the way I always go. Okay, so basically you got the screw. Okay, you obviously got your threads, and you got what's called the shank right here, and then this tapered part's called the head. Okay, so what I did was I just drilled a through hole that will allow me to put this screw all the way through to the next pattern. Okay, and then my countersink, it's got a bevel on here which catches that. Okay, And there's other ones, the machinist ones, they got the square head. Those are called socket cap screws, okay? You use Allen wrenches for those, so different ones. But we use these all the time, okay? So then what's gonna happen is I got my through hole here and I got my countersink. You know, that's what this is gonna go all the way through, okay? It's clearance enough to go through, and you just barely wanna make it so it barely goes through, okay? So the next thing what I'm gonna do is I'm going to mount the other side of the pattern on here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my drill again and I'm going to drill like a little bit smaller than these threads. That'll be called the pilot hole, okay? And it's going to be the pilot for the threads to start on here, okay? So a lot of these wood screws are bigger, and this is going to go into the pattern quite a bit. So I want to put a pilot hole because I'm putting 2 screws in here, and they'll split if you don't use a pilot hole. This screw will just drive up and it'll be like a wedge, and it could. Alright, so I got a lot of time into this pattern. I don't want to do that, okay? So I'm going to go shut you guys down for a minute. We're going to put these back up on the parallels. I'll show you how to screw these together, and we'll go from there. Alright, hang tight, guys. Okay guys, now I'm going to show you how to mount the other half, okay? So another thing real quick, it's getting lengthy video. Parallels. Just make a couple different kinds out of wood, cut them on the table saw, that's good enough. You can see them sticking down here. This way I can, you know, put the board on here and I'm not banging up my pattern on the other side, okay? So you can see here, I got my 2 pins stuck out here. Be careful, make sure before you push all this stuff through, you know, sand them. You can countersink them a little bit with a countersink, okay? But you don't want any pieces of wood over there, okay? Because it'll make it so that this doesn't go all the way down, okay? So I got my 2 holes. What I'll do is line these up. Come on. Find that hole here. We'll keep this one PG here. Alright, so there you go. So that fit right on there. Okay, so that tells me that those holes are drilled pretty darn straight, okay? Theories are too, a lot of times some places like you to drill the board like a 30-second bigger. And the theory of that is you have the pin sticking through the pattern, you know, and if they're long enough, they should hold them together. And what they're afraid of is like what I just did. I drilled through. They're afraid that the drill's going to walk, and they call it walking, okay? So they're afraid the drill's going to get off a little bit going through the plywood. But I got nice, sharp, you know, good drills. The drill press is pretty good. And like I said, we just checked ourselves because this fit right on there. So if those holes were drilled crooked, you know, that wouldn't have gone on there, okay? So I got both halves on. Okay, so I got my through holes over here. So what I did was I got a longer drill, okay? So that's going to be my pilot drill. Put that in my drill. You just hand drill these, okay? It's not that huge of a deal. Like I said, you could not even put a pilot hole, but your chance and, you know, splitting your pattern. So I don't want to do that. Now, the other thing too, you're watching me, I'm drilling from the other side. Keep your hand away from where the drill's going to come through, because it'll hurt if that drill goes through your hand. Okay? Haven't seen that one, but I've heard of it happening. Okay? Oh, see, I came all the way through. Good thing my hand wasn't there, right? So we'll get this screwed on, and then my daughter just brought supper home, so we're gonna go eat some supper here. What I'll do, like I said, I'm gonna put bungs in the screw holes, and then might even be able to put some bung holes in the holes for the pin holes too. a bit long there too. Okay, that corporant's a little smaller in diameter than the pattern itself, so I grabbed the same size screws to go through the pattern. Okay, put this one in. We're golden. There we go. Now all I gotta do is do this before I go in real quick. Okay, pine bongs. I just get like salsa container. I got pine. There's a couple different sizes. I got 3/8, 1/2 inch, 5/8. Okay, try to keep these in bins because it's not good if they get damp. Okay, so I'm gonna put these bungs in here. I'll show you how we sand them off later. I'll talk to you in a bit. All right, guys. Next thing I gotta do here real quick is I'm gonna put these bung plugs in here. Just got done eating good food. My daughter stopped by on the way home from work, some Asian place up in Cleveland. I don't know what it was called, but we got some really good noodle bowl with some 3-day-old broth. It's really good. Okay, so one of the things you got to do with the bung plugs is the grain is going, a certain way. So you always try to line the grain up. Okay, so one of the big things is with these, put the glue on the bung or put the glue in the hole. It's just the age-old debate, just do it the way you feel more comfortable. I'm guessing, okay? It's not a real big thing, okay? So just gotta make sure you go with the grain, okay? I got this painted, so which way's the grain? Well, the length of it, the grain's obviously going the length, all right? So you want the grain, and it's important because what's going to happen down the road is things are going to expand and contract in that, okay? And like I said, I'm not there yet, but hopefully I can get this foundry going. And foundries are notorious for having pattern storage buildings that aren't heated in that. So up here in Cleveland, like if you saw the one video I did a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, I guess, if you saw that one video, I was literally outside like this here in Cleveland, t-shirt, I was in shorts, and we woke up the next morning and there was 4 inches of snow on the ground. So it's kind of, Cleveland's notorious for the weather shifts, so you could imagine what, trying to work with wood in that here, a little bit of a challenge. Having these in storage buildings, and as of right now, I don't have a storage building or anything. Everything's getting stored down in my basement, which is weatherproof, so it's not a big thing. But like I said, hopefully down the road we'll do that. Okay, so here's the bungs. Okay, and then in a little while I'll just chisel these things off. Okay. I'm going to give my daughter the camera to take up to Joe, see if he can get this out on the air tomorrow. So what we'll do from here, like I said, I'll gate this. I'll try to get the camera back to show you how to gate this. I'm not in a huge hurry for this. I'm not. So I'll try to make sure I get the camera back before I gate this. Next big thing I want to do too is I want to show you guys how to do the parting on this thing, and we'll make a match plate with like 4 on. Probably just do 4 on. I got to do I think 50 of those, so I'll do what, 12, 14 molds, something like that, and I'll have enough, so it's beats making 50 molds, right? So there's that. If I can get the camera back too, if I have it, I want to do a little bit more plumbing up at the the foundry too. I mean, usually if like in our old days, you know, Tony and I, we'd go do that job. We'd get there 8 o'clock in the morning and be done by the time we left, you know, but it's, you know, it's been so hot here. It's been just miserable to work. It's been terrible. So, and like I've been saying too, I got a ton of castings I got to get done too. So I got to get going on that. But like, you know, today is 92 with the humidity was just ungodly here. So it's supposed to cool down next week and then we'll see what happens. So hopefully we get up to the foundry and do some casting. But anyhow, I'm going to cut you guys loose. It's probably a way longer video than really needed to be. Like I said, we'll get going on some more videos down at the foundry. But in the meantime, everybody have a good one out there and everybody stay safe.